Number 6 and 7 were, I call them like law of cosines questions. You're giving this triangle side 6, 7, 8, and it wants the cosine of the largest angle to start with. That's part A, and then part B wants the actual angle. So, in a triangle, the relationship between the longest side and the biggest angle are always opposite each other. So I'm going to put the x here because it's opposite the 8. If they wanted the smallest angle, I would have went for this angle here. Now, with the law of cosines, you always start with the angle involved in the problem, and you look across, and that's what you're going to start with. I know they give you that formula, a squared equals b squared plus c squared, yada yada, but you're always best just knowing that relationship. I mean, I would check the formula, make sure you're doing it right, but make sure you know that relationship. So since this angle here is involved, I'm going to start with 8 squared. The other sides will just fall suit, right? So these are the other two sides squared minus the other two sides cosine of x. Now, this is where most of you are doing this right, but some of you are still not performing the proper order of operations. You could square the 8, you could square this and add it up. Put this in the calculator in one shot. Do not put it in pieces. And the cosine x is attached to that negative 84 with multiplication. You cannot combine these. Just like you can't combine 85 minus 84x, you can't combine 85 minus 84 cosine x. So we want to isolate this over here. So first I subtract the 85, and then I divide by negative 84, and I get cosine x is 0.25. Now the first part of the question wanted just cosine x, so I report 0.25, or 1/4 is acceptable as well. The second part says, okay, now find that angle. So I have to do the inverse. So I do second cos, which is cos negative 1.25, and I get this angle here. It doesn't say what to round to, so we'll just round it to the nearest degree right now. So 76 degrees. So this is a good example of the law of cosine, finding an angle and knowing if they're asking me for cosine x or are they asking me for the actual angle. Don't give them more than they want, just answer the question. Now with number 7, it's a perimeter question. Perimeter, of course, is all about the sides. It gave me these two sides here in this isosceles triangle. This is the vertex angle over here. So I have to find this side first before I can find the perimeter. So again, it's going to be law of cosines. 3 sides, 1 angle. Locate the angle involved in the problem, which happens to be 30. You're always going to start with the side opposite it. Just getting my pen here. So you see how this is 30 and opposite is x? That 6 isn't there. That's what we're going to calculate. I just have it on the diagram. So we're going to start with x squared. So you get x squared equals side squared plus side squared minus 2 of those sides and times the cosine of 30. Now you see there are no embedded variables here, so do not put it in the calculator in pieces. It's completely unnecessary, and you might make an error doing it. Type this in exactly the way it is, one shot, and then to get x by itself, you take the square root of both sides. Now to the nearest integer will be 6. So now I take that 6, and I add up all the sides, and I get 12 plus 12 plus 6. This happens to be 30. So this is the perimeter.